let's go here. How everybody doing out there tonight, man? Sorry, y'all. It's been a while. Been probably about 2 weeks for me. But I've been busy, y'all. So I'm not ignoring anybody. I try to get back to you on the emails when I can, but I have a lot going on. So I have a call-in number tonight. That call-in number is 563-999-3602. Y'all can call in to the show and we can talk. We'll be discussing civil and criminal cases tonight. You can call in, whatever you want to talk about. You can ask questions, the answers that you want to know. If I know the answer, I'll tell you because I am a litigator. I litigate. That is what I do. I haven't litigated in a while, but I do litigate. So again, I'm gonna give y'all that call-in number. That call-in number is 563-999-3602. Y'all call in, and we can just go from there. I hope everybody's enjoying their day. It's kind of cool out here today. It's about 40-some degrees here, plus it's raining outside right now. So I'm gonna give everybody some time to get here. I sent a few of y'all an email, letting y'all know that I was going live tonight. Everybody that I could. This was kind of sort of last minute. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I have to go live when I have time. Sometimes I just don't have time to do it. But I will try to keep doing it at 4:00, like everybody voted on in the poll that I put up last month. I'll be checking the phone lines from time to time. And again, if you want to call into the show, there's the call-in number at the bottom of the screen. Matter of fact, I'm going to post the call-in number into the chat. Let's do it right here. Let's see. I post the call-in number into the chat. Y'all call into the show. If you want to ask a question or if you want to just comment or say anything, just press 1 and I'll turn your microphone on. Let's see. Just to give y'all some more background about me, I've done divorce cases before. Quite a few of those. I can expunge records. I've never done an expungement before, but I'm 100% sure that I can do it. I'm getting ready to expunge my record, actually. I have successfully sued police officers in federal court and won. I can draft appeals. I don't care what kind of appeal it is. I can pretty much sue anybody. All of that stuff is easy. As far as drafting motions, I can draft motion to dismiss, motion to suppress, motion for summary judgment, motion for judgment notwithstanding a verdict or something. I think they call it JNOV or something like that. I can draft writs, writ of habeas corpus, pretty much anything. Some of this stuff, like a writ of habeas corpus, I've never drafted one before, but I'm 100% sure that I can draft it because all of this stuff is pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna check the phone lines right now, y'all. I have some people listening. Nobody has their hand up. Let's see. So we can talk about civil cases and criminal cases. That's the topic of the show tonight, y'all. 42 Section 1983, which is what I have successfully litigated against in federal court. I'm actually getting ready to sue another police officer. He doesn't know it, but I'm getting ready to sue him. This will be in state court. I'm probably about 95% done with the drafting of the complaint and my causes of actions and so on and so forth like that. Let's see what else. I mean, y'all, there's really nothing that I can't do. But what y'all need to understand is these are not honorable men and women sitting on these benches in these so-called courts. Most of them are not honorable. They're never going to tell you that you're 100% right in your arguments. I'm about 99% sure of that they're never going to tell you that. That you can go in and argue. You have a right to travel, and you can support case law. I mean, you can show the case law in support of your contention, and you can be, like I said, 100% right, and they'll just ignore it. They'll just act like you never even filed it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to argue about it. They'll make up some shit saying this is bad law. These cases were overruled, or you don't know what you're talking about. They'll say that you're mischaracterizing the case, or you have a misunderstanding of the case, or something like that. They just do all types of stuff, man. This is what they do. That is what they do. And now you're in there like, what do I do now? That's how you're in there. They try to make you look crazy and intimidate you and threaten you with jail, you know, and they want the so-called general public, you know, the people who are also in court because they got a traffic ticket or some other case in there. They don't want the curtain lifted to show those people what is actually going on in these courts. They don't want that to happen. So that's why they do what they do. I had a judge tell me, you know, because I've tried this stuff. I was trying to do the Sixth Amendment argument because I wanted to understand the nature of the action. And so I did it, you know, and this was a circuit judge. So this judge, he looks at me and he says, it's not common law. And he didn't say anything else. That's what he said. He said it's not common law. He wouldn't tell me it was admiralty. He would not say that it was not admiralty. He wouldn't say equity or maritime. He didn't say any of that stuff. He looked at me dead in my face on the record. There was a court report in there documenting everything that he said. He said, it's not common law. That's what he told me. Now, I know the nature of the action, but I want them to tell me the nature of the action because they have a duty to tell me the nature of the action. And when they don't do that, they violate due process. And if they violate due process, they lose jurisdiction. That's the rule. For every right, there's a remedy. So since you have a right to know the nature of the action and they don't disclose the nature of the action to you, then your remedy is either you'll get a trial de novo or they lose jurisdiction to prosecute the case. That's the way it goes. Okay, y'all call into the show. If you have, or you can post your questions in the comment section of the video. But if you want to talk to me or if you want to say something on the air, because I do have a call-in number tonight, call into the show and press 1, and I'll turn your microphone on. Now, look, some of y'all don't wait till last minute like y'all always do. Y'all always wait last minute to call into the show when I only have like 5 or 10 minutes left. Or y'all wait, to the last minute of the show to actually press 1 and start talking. Don't do that. Y'all call in. This is going to be a good show tonight. It's going to be a good show. I want to go live so bad from my Facebook page and just tell people what's going on downtown in this courthouse. But the average man or woman, they just don't care. They're not paying attention to this stuff, what's going on downtown in this courthouse. They really think that these people are judges. They think that these people are superior over them. They think these people really have all the power and control, and they don't. But that's just what, that's what some people think. Well, most people, it seems that that's what they think. So I don't get it. I don't get it. It kind of frustrates me because I'm tired of it. I'm not going to lie to you. I am tired of it. That's why whenever they do anything to me, and y'all, I mean any damn thing, it's gonna be a problem, and it's gonna cost them. That's why they really don't really bother me anymore. Unless, like, if I go to another city and state, or at least another county or something where they don't know me, then they'll probably, try that shit on me. But then when I go to court, it'll be a different action. It'll be different. Um, if y'all haven't already, please, if you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button. I really appreciate that. Who was it? I had somebody emailed me. There was a couple people that emailed me, and they want to discuss their cases, and I really just don't have time. So if you're watching the video now, you're one of the people who emailed me, call in, press 1, and you can get your questions answered, or you can, we can just engage in dialogue, or you can get some advice, anything. Just call into the show and just press 1. So what y'all got for me tonight, man? What y'all got? Don't just stand there and look. Don't just, don't just listen, Come on. What you got for me tonight? Anything y'all want to know? I've been doing some research, and I don't know if, like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I believe I'm right. I believe that all of these governments are territorial governments. They are something like, either they're territorial governments, or what was the other one? They are they're sub corporations under the federal corporation, which is called the United States, something like that. I believe it's something very similar to one of those two, because how are they doing it? It doesn't make sense to me how they are doing this and getting away with this, other than the fact that everything that they're doing is concealed in legalese. It's hidden in another language. That's the only thing that I can think of. I can't think of anything else. Have any of y'all filed y'all lawsuits yet in federal court? I had a few people who called me for consultations, and we did talk, and I gave them some advice. And I think 1 or 2 of y'all told me that y'all were gonna file your case, I think, in February, which is, it's February now. So has anybody filed their lawsuit yet in federal court? If you're watching this video and you filed your lawsuit, call into the show. Press 1, and I'll turn your microphone on. Anybody? All right. So, this is what I'll do, since I don't really have any questions right now. I'm gonna give y'all a scenario, because some people, they don't really know what the hell is going on. They don't know when their rights are violated, because they don't know their rights, and so on and so forth. So, you want to look. Generally, I'm about 99% sure that every state has their own civil rules of procedure and criminal rules of procedure. We're going to talk about criminal cases for right now. So in criminal cases, somewhere in those rules are going to be, it's going to tell you which type of motions that you can draft. So let's say that you were unlawfully arrested. Okay, we're going to say you were unlawfully arrested. And as a result of you being unlawfully arrested, the police officers obtained some evidence that she or he intends to use against you. Your remedy for that, because I just said where there's a right, there's a remedy. Your remedy for that will be to file a motion to suppress on the grounds that you were unlawfully arrested. That will be your remedy. That's just an example. So you will look to somewhere in your rules, your state rules of procedure, or your you can pretty much argue that on the federal level. Come to think of it, you can cite a case. You can cite a federal case law, probably a U.S. Supreme Court case or something like that. You can cite that as the authority for bringing that motion to suppress, and you would simply it kind of works the same way when you're filing your lawsuit against the police in your ultimate facts. You will basically allege facts that show you were unlawfully detained, and as a result, this police officer is intending to use unlawfully seized evidence against you. And so you will basically say, you file a motion to suppress on those grounds. They call it fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine, or something like that. That's what they call it. Let's see. Now, just to let y'all know, man, look, this stuff is not going to be easy, because you're a damn fool if you think that you, who has never been to law school, who's never probably litigated anything, you're a damn fool if you think these people are going to say, you know what, you're 100% right. We did violate your rights, and we're going to dismiss this case. That shit is probably almost never going to happen, because, like, for some reason, I don't know what it is, y'all, but for some reason, it's like that these people are they're just prejudiced against you if you're not an attorney. It's like they treat you like you don't know what you're doing. You could be 100% right, y'all, and they'll just do some shit and ignore all of your paperwork. I don't get it, y'all. I don't get the shit. I've had that happen to me a lot. But now, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, let's say you arguing your right to travel. You trying to argue a traffic ticket or something like that, and you got this good ass argument, and you got all your cases to support it and everything. But like I said, they have a courtroom full of people in here, so they don't want these people to know what you're doing is the right thing to do. So what they'll do is they'll just put on a show in court, and they'll say, well, I find you guilty or something like that. Now, even though the judge might find you guilty or something, he'll never issue a warrant for the seizure of your person if you don't pay the traffic ticket, because he knows what you just did, and he knows you were right, but he doesn't want these people to know, so he puts on a show and makes it look like you're wrong, and makes it look like you got convicted, and so on and forth. Like, I had that happen to me before. Matter of fact, it was the judge that I just told y'all about who looked me dead in my face and told me that the nature of the action before the court right then and there was not under common law jurisdiction. I never paid that traffic ticket, y'all. To this day, I never paid that traffic ticket. It's still downtown right now, unpaid, but he hasn't issued a capious warrant or a bench warrant or nothing like that for the seizure of my person. He hasn't done that. These are the type of games they play, man. You're in an administrative agency. I'm going to call it an agency because it ain't a court. You're in an administrative agency. That's where you're at. And they're adjudicating public policy. They're filing lawsuits against you, and they're adjudicating public policy. They're saying you breached their policy. Policy, in my opinion, the nature of the term policy, in my opinion, is corporate. It's policy. Walmart has a policy. Chick-fil-A has a policy. Sam's Club has a policy. All corporations have a policy. All of them have a policy. So I think, I want y'all to think of it like this. Just imagine that, let's say Walmart buys let's say Walmart buys 200 acres or whatever. And let's say you want to move in on this land that Walmart has purchased or whatever, but you have to subject yourself to their, I guess, policy or so-called laws of that land in order for you to be allowed on that land. And if you breach any of their policies or whatever, they'll sue you or they'll fine you or something like that. I really think that is what these people have done in the state governments. I really, really think that, because what do they call them? Because a municipal corporation, a city is a municipal corporation. They have their what do they have there? What they call it? I think they call it police jurisdiction or something like that. Maybe I don't know how many acres it might be, but they have police jurisdiction. Counties, same thing. You might have a sheriff or something like that. But I really think that that is what these people have done. That I really, really think that that is what they have done. They can't be sovereign. I don't see how can a corporation be sovereign. That don't even make any sense to me. Period. They not sovereign. So I don't know. I don't know what these justices are doing, but these people are not sovereign. You should be allowed to sue the corporation called the state of whatever it's called. You should be allowed to sue them. I'm guessing they don't want you to do that because they don't want you to know what the hell is going on. They don't want people to know what the hell is going on. They are not sovereign. I like in reference, like when I hear the term state, I think of the people when I hear the term state because you are an extension of the state's sovereignty. So I don't know what the hell these people got going on, but something ain't right. Something ain't right. I'm still trying to figure it out. I do believe that I'm probably about 90. Let me rephrase. I believe I'm about 100% right when I tell you that they're filing lawsuits against you. When they procreate these so-called criminal charges against you, they're filing lawsuits against you. They're suing you. I don't know in what capacity that they're suing you in, whether if they're suing you as a state citizen or a U.S. citizen or something like that. Okay, but this is policy, and you can only sue. You can only bring someone in that particular jurisdiction when they are a member, or so to speak, of that organization. Like for example, if you don't work for Walmart cannot enforce their policy on you. The executives cannot enforce their policy on you. Your supervisor cannot enforce the policy on you. It's it's just lawsuits, man. That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. So I'm getting bored. It's been a long time since I've been to court, y'all. Since I settled my since before I settled my case. It's been a while since I've been to court. So I'm looking to to get into some more action, something, because I want to go downtown when I get some time. If I ever get me a traffic ticket or any other type of so-called criminal charge, but I'm gonna try some more of this stuff out just to see what these people's reactions are because something ain't right, and I do believe that I am right. If you're just tuning in, y'all can call into the show 563-999-3602. Press 1 and I'll turn your microphone on and we can discuss some things. Let's see. Sorry about that. I keep looking at my computer because I'm trying to make sure that I answer questions in the chat room when I get them. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a civil case that I did for somebody. I did a civil case for somebody. This was when I was first just trying some stuff out because I was doing a lot of studying, and there was this woman. She wanted a divorce or whatever, and I told her I wouldn't charge her for it. I said I'll do it for you for free because I want to see if I really know how to do it. So it took me probably about how long did it take me to draft her paperwork? It took me a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks or so, no more than 3 weeks to draft her paperwork and get everything in order for her divorce. So long story short, her divorce was granted. So I knew what I was doing. I did it right. So her name is Jennifer. Jennifer's a real good friend. She's a real good person. And even though I did this for free, I didn't even ask her for any money, but she still compensated me for my time because she was so happy that she got divorced. or whatever. SG. If the sovereign is king of his domain, you can't sue them in their domain, but they are a citizen of another sovereign. You can sue them there. It's explained in the Constitution. How? Let me see. It's not explained explicitly, but I realized it in reading the Constitution. If you can't sue in state court, do it in federal court or vice versa. Um, I'm a little confused on that, SG. It, if you got some time, SG, call into the show and we can discuss that. I'm a little confused on that. It really just doesn't make sense to me. And if you have time, well, if you feel like typing it, you can type it in the chat section and try to explain it. Oh, it's cool. It's cool if you're at work, man. Do your thing. Let me see. If the sovereign is king of his domain, you can't sue them in their domain. Okay, I see what you're saying. You're basically saying when you say domain, we're gonna say like my house. In my house, I'm sovereign or whatever. So you can't sue me in my house. Are you saying is it something like that, or something similar to that? I might be misquoting it or something like that. It's the difference between the article courts. It's the difference between the article courts. Okay. Do me a favor, y'all. If y'all haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. I don't know, but if they are a citizen of another sovereign, I kind of get it, but to be sure, I'd rather just discuss it. But I think I kind of get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. A state is a country. Okay, a federal territory. I agree with it's a federal territory too. But you know something about that territorial jurisdiction or whatever? That shit ain't tangible, man. It's not. It's not a concrete element to it. It seems like. Let me rephrase that. It seems like it's a concrete element to it, but then it's a fictional element to it. You know what I'm saying? Because the United States is a country, and it's heretofore it was foreign. It still is foreign, if you ask me, foreign to the states. That's why they have their own constitution, their own laws. Like I've seen cases that expressly say that acts of Congress only apply, within that 10 square miles. It doesn't exceed that 10 square miles. So the only, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but it is by contention that it would only apply. In other words, it can only lawfully exceed with beyond that 10 square miles over territories of the federal government. I think that would be a correct conclusion of what I'm trying to say. What do you think about that, SG, what I just said? Territories. I think I've been reading cases too to where they had territorial governments and state courts. I mean, in the states had territories. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is they had territorial governments. Some of the states. Yeah, I think they still do. I think they still do, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I think they still do. Why, like this? They hit this stuff is just all of this information. It would be great if all of this information was just in one case, but it is scattered all over in numerous cases. So you have to go and read cases from 100, 200 years ago, and so on and so forth. Or sometimes you might find a recent case that may mention it a little bit, but it's probably not going to go too much into detail about it. And yeah, states, like you said, states are countries because they have their own constitution, they have their own laws, and so on and so forth, like that. That's why the 14th Amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state in which they reside, or something like that. Okay, SG, you starting to narrow it down now. That makes more sense to me. That's a fiction though. Shit, everything is a person. Everything, because shit, I don't know if y'all saw, but I cited a case that says, what did it say? I think it said it has been decided for more than a century that corporations are persons within the meaning of the 14th Amendment or something like that. Give me a second, y'all. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Oh, all right, sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, I've seen that before. When I find interesting cases, I always post on my community news feeds because I want y'all to see this shit. Somebody, like, sometimes when I read these cases, I just start laughing because this shit. It seems like they just made this shit up. You know what I'm saying? But these judges are dead serious when they make these rulings. They dead serious when they say this shit. So, okay, any person is a territory of Congress, basically. I can agree with that. I remember I went to court one time, y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all this: if you get a traffic citation, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be full of vague, conclusory allegations. Ain't no facts gonna be in that complaint against your person to substantiate that that so-called charge against you. It's all they allege everything in a conclusory manner with no facts to support nothing. They do that shit all the time. All the time. So I remember one time I'm reading over this. I'm in court and I'm reading over this and I'm telling the judge, Your Honor, Your Honor, I'm having some issues with understanding this, Your Honor, because one, we don't know if I'm a person. Anything could be a person. The city of whatever is a person. The state is a person. Like I said, the city is a person. The state is a person. Walmart is a person. Dairy Queen is a person. Chick-fil-A is a person. So we don't know, Your Honor. We don't know if I'm a person within the meaning of this statute. That judge looked at me. He got so quiet, and he looked at me. He said, "Are you a sovereign citizen or something like that?" I said, "Your Honor, that's a misnomer. We both know that you can't be sovereign and a citizen." He looks at me and says, "You're right." So this is a case where the police officer didn't show up. It was a traffic ticket, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So the police officer didn't show up. So the judge says, "Well, do you have anything else to say before I rule on this traffic ticket?" And I looked at him. I said, "Your Honor, now you know you can't do that without a competent witness." He had no witness. And I damn sure wasn't finna testify against myself. So he started laughing. And he looks at me. He says, "You're right. Get out of my courtroom." He's playing these games, man. Presumptions. If you don't rebut them, they treat them as truth. I agree. Assumptions, presumptions, and color of law. I agree with that, SG. I definitely agree with that. Let me make sure give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to make sure everything is right. Yeah, it's good. Okay. Sorry about that. If you want to call, I'm going to post the call-in number again below so y'all can call in if you have any questions. Just press 1 and I'll turn your microphone on. Press 1 and I'll turn your microphone on. Okay, so is there anybody watching the video right now that has a pending case in state court or federal court right now? If you do, call in, press 1 so we can talk about it. The difference is that it's the difference between the article courts. Okay, let me go back on. When you say it's the difference between the article courts, SG, are you talking about legislative courts? You talking about the courts that Congress created, or are you talking about the courts the people created? I think you're talking about the administrative courts, the courts that function like administrative agencies. I think you're talking about those courts. Because y'all do know that you can go straight to the Supreme Court without a statute, without appeals or something like that. But you have to use the Constitution though. You have to, what they call it, Article 3 standing or something like that. I'm gonna figure that out. Y'all, look, I'm gonna try some shit, y'all. I'm gonna try some shit. When I get some time, I'm gonna go through this damn Constitution. I'm gonna start trying shit out. I'm trying to go straight to the United States Supreme Court for America. I'm trying to go to that court on something. I'm gonna find some type of cause of action, and I'm gonna sue in that court. I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna try to do it for the state court too, because I want to know what the hell going on. Because I had a question about filing motions. Okay, but I can't remember what it was. Okay, was it like a motion to suppress? Was it dealing with a civil case, a criminal case? Motion to dismiss? Motion for summary judgment? What kind you had, man? What kind of question was it? Also, just to let y'all know, when y'all go down to the courthouse and you filing this, you can ask the clerks for some type of advice, just as long as it's not legal advice. They'll tell you they can't give you legal advice and so on and so forth like that. Some of the clerks, they can be somewhat hard to deal with. Some of them can. At least that's my base. That's my personal experience with some. But some of them can also be your best friend. They can be your best friend. So, if you feel like you've done something wrong, or if you don't know if it's done right, or if you don't know if you don't file it in the right court or something like that, you can probably ask the clerk. Maybe they'll help you. Maybe they won't. I guess it really depends on who it is. But I would advise y'all to try to at least make a friend of at least one clerk down at your local courthouse. Some of them, if you get the right one, they can really, really help you out. Like they'll go above and beyond for you, just giving you information about your case. Sometimes they'll just give you paperwork free. They'll just waive the fees, or just they won't even mention the fees or something like that. That's my personal experience. I wish the woman who was helping me out, I wish she still worked down. I need to go down there and check and see. I don't think she still works downtown anymore. But she was a very sweet woman, and she helped me out a lot. And I feel like I owe her some money or something, just for doing what she did for me, because I really appreciate her. Okay, let's see, 717-2663. Good evening, caller 2664. What's going on, man?
Give me a second. I gotta Okay. All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me see. I talked to you before about my child support issue. So I'm supposed to have a hearing sometime in May, and so far, well, I'm going through the Office of Administrative Hearings,
Okay.
and I see that they're making some changes to the process for contesting cases. I assume based off of some issues that I brought up with my case. So those changes take effect in April, so that might work out to my advantage. But as far as amending like right now, all I can send them is the facts regarding how I feel that I was wronged in my case. But when they make those changes, I can actually contest the actual court order and issues that I have with that. If I need to amend my, I don't know what you would call it, but I guess in your notice to appear, is that where you would put your statement of facts as far as what was done wrong? Like, what's the process for amending something like that?
What are you trying to file in court? Are you trying to, is this, well, I don't think this will be your initial appearance. Is this something letting the court know why you're here? Why you?
Well, see, they have forms that they send to me. It's something like a layman can fill out. So they ask you questions and you just give them an answer. But I assume they take what you send them and then put it into their little the paper where you would put motions up in whatever motion you're trying to file. Put it into a court format.
Okay,
so all I've done is question and answer, but I assume I would be able to just send one of those court format things in.
Yeah,
so I've kind of figured out how to do that from my traffic issues. I figured out how to do that then. So if I want to amend,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
The facts or add additional facts. If I want to add additional facts to it, what would you call that?
I would file an affidavit in support of the type of document, whatever the type of the document that you filed. So, like, let's say if you're filing a motion to dismiss or something like that, you could say motion to dismiss, and then in your motion to dismiss, you can say defendant has contemporaneously filed an affidavit in support of this motion to dismiss attached here to something like that. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. And since I'm the one who brought this appeal process on, in my case, I have so much stuff that there's nothing they can do to rebut what I have to say. They've never responded to anything I said because they can't. So in my case, I can send a motion for summary judgment with an affidavit and all my supporting documents. Is that how it will be done since I'm the one that started this process?
This would be a civil case. I don't see why not, but see which let me see, what state are you in? I'm gonna try to look this up right
quick. North Carolina.
And you're in juvenile court or something like that, or family court or something like that?
What it is I'm contesting, I got a notice that they're going to withhold my income tax return. So you can contest that through the Office of Administrative Hearings.
Okay, that's your due process. Okay.
So all of this is through administrative hearings, but it will be held in the county courthouse.
Wait a minute. I think I remember talking to you. I think the last time I think we talked, you were telling me that somebody in the office told you that they don't ever send out some type of notice or something like that, unless that was the wrong. Unless
Right.
this is the wrong guy. I think that was you. Okay. So you.
So they were supposed. I was supposed to have appeal rights when the order first went in before they started taking my money, and they never did that. And they never give appeal rights to anybody. At least not under what is it, Title 4D or whatever it is. It's different types of child support, but I fall under 4D.
Okay. So in that particular subsection 4D, they have an administrative duty to to send you a notice to let you know that you can. I guess that you either have a right to an appeal or you have to have some type of hearing on it or something like that.
You have a right to an appeal, and they have to give that notice before they send notice to the employer to withhold income or pay.
Yeah, so they violated, basically, they violated due process. Basically, that's what it seems like to me. So you would
Yeah, that was one of many things that they did wrong. So I have, like I said, it's so much stuff that after I finally read the order and realized what they did, there's nothing that they can do to fight this. So that's why I was thinking I could just send a motion for summary judgment with my supporting documentation and have the judge just throw it out or whatever without us even going to court, because it's no point.
You can. I don't see why not. Even if you title the document the wrong thing, it really doesn't matter. As long as you explain to the court in a very thorough manner of what actually happened and what you're trying to get as a result of what they did to you, then they should give you your remedy. In other words, they should rule in your favor or something like that. But again, you're not an attorney, so these motherfuckers,
yeah,
they man, I'm telling you, bro, they terrible, man. They terrible. But,
I've been trying to find that Matthew Bender's was it Forms and Pleadings book manual.
It's called what?
And I can't find it was Matthew Bender's
pleadings
some kind of pleadings book.
Oh, so it's basically just showing you how the pleadings are supposed to look and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, different examples, but I can't find like an online version. All I see is the one from LexisNexis that's like $18,000. And I don't have that kind of money, not yet.
All right, let me ask you this, bro. What city are you in? I'm gonna see if I can find you a law library. Have you already found one already? A law library?
I live just outside of Charlotte, and I had to drive about an hour away to Wake Forest University to use their law library because I wanted to look at American jurisprudence, the administrative law section.
Okay, let me
that was the closest law library I could find.
What county are you in? I'm gonna do some more research to see if I can find one closer. What county are you in?
This is Mecklenburg.
Mecklenburg.
Yeah.
Okay, Mecklenburg County.
Mecklenburg.
Burg. Okay. County. I'm gonna see if they got one. Let's see. Charlotte, Mecklenburg County Law Library. It says they have one in your county.
Yeah, it's one that shows in the same building as the district attorney, but there's no library there. They said they moved out somewhere else, and I can't find where somewhere else is.
Okay. Name a few more counties that you're close to.
I really don't know because I'm not from here.
Oh, okay. I was gonna try to find a law library in the next county over or something like that.
Yeah, if I have to, I can always go back to Wake Forest. I was trying to find like a PDF version of or at least a decent, even if it's not Matthew Bender, just a decent pleadings book, that has examples in it.
What type of
like do you have anything like that you can recommend?
So you basically just want to know how a document is supposed to look. I mean, you can go on Google. Go ahead.
I'm not sure what I don't know all the different types of pleadings you can use. That was the main thing. Is maybe there's a pleading from my situation that I can use that I don't know about.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. You probably heard, if you listen to Yusuf L, you probably heard Yusuf say this too. Yusuf L's right when he tell you that it's substance over form. It doesn't matter what you call the document. It doesn't even matter how it looks. It matters what you're arguing and what you're asking for. Whatever you're arguing and what you're asking for, that's how they're gonna treat it. Now, if you just want to, just look professional and stuff like that, then yeah, I mean, you could get a pleadings and practice form book or something like that. But all of that shit is pretty much the same, man. You got your whatever court is in, you got that at the title, at the top of the page. Then you have your parties. The plaintiff name goes first, the defendants. Then you have the case number. Then under all of that, you have the title of the document. And then you come out in the title of the document, it says, comes now John Doe, pursuant to blah, 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 asking for blah, 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 under these grounds in support of blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying? That's all you're doing, bro. Pretty much on every damn thing you file in court. That's it.
Okay. And if I put the wrong name of the pleading, they'll just look at what I wrote and say, okay, well, this is what it should be.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Or this is what it should be called.
Yes. They're probably not going to even do that. They'll probably say, although plaintiff has cited, although defendant has called the document blah, 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 defendant is asking for this. So as a matter of law, we're required to treat the defendant's document as if she or he is filed blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
They ain't smarter than you.
All right, then I won't worry about it too much then.
No, I wouldn't. But just make sure that you explain in a very detailed manner what happened and your remedy as a result of whatever they did to you. You need to make sure you explain that to the court because they're going to want to know, what do you want? What type of remedy do you want? And you want that shit. You want the judgment vacated and thrown out, and you want some back pay. As a matter of fact, shit, I would ask for some back pay. I'll sanction them motherfuckers. I try to get, if I could, I'd try to get punitive damages for them motherfuckers because he deliberately did that shit.
Now, I don't want to hold you up too long, but this is something I've been thinking about as far as what Federal Reserve notes represent. Since they're not backed by gold and silver, and as Yusuf says, it's basically the currency of this, at least in this country and probably the world, is labor. So when they take money from me, they take labor from me.
Yeah.
And they haven't given me anything in return. So essentially, that's slavery, wasn't it?
Yeah, they robbed you. That's what they did, man. They robbed you.
So, technically, it could be a 13th Amendment violation. Because they've taken my labor and didn't give me anything in return.
Nah, that would be, I was going to say probably a 5th Amendment because that's private. Your labor is your property. But if they have to use it for public use, like I think it's neither private property shall be taken for public use without just compensation or something like that. Some of these arguments you would think that they're ridiculous, but some of them are actually, they really be valid arguments. But you're not an attorney, you can go in and try to argue that, or I don't know if anybody's ever argued that before. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm not saying you're right, because I don't know, I've never argued it.
Yeah, Just curious.
You ain't reaching. I'm gonna tell you this.
Not that big a deal.
I'm gonna say this: you ain't reaching. That's for damn sure. You just trying to make some sense of it. You ain't reaching, because it seems like.
But you could look at you could look at taxes the same way.
Yeah, you damn sure can. You damn sure can. They supposed to. I haven't done this yet, but I want to try it. I want to go down next time I go to court. I want to ask them for their EIN number, so I can file this tax money that I'm paying on this quasi criminal charge on my taxes. And I need to report this to the IRS. I don't know, man.
Well, I guess that, yeah, I was going to say maybe you could look that up on the Attorney General's website, since they keep all the corporation information, but the EIN will come from the IRS anyway, so it wouldn't be on there.
But I can guarantee you they got an EIN number. The county and the city do, because they persons. Yeah. They have a DUNS number, they got an EIN number. And they have a DUNS number.
Yeah, you were talking about that before. I think Gene Keating talked about that a lot, that type of stuff.
Yeah, just go on down in Brad Street and type in state of whatever, and watch they have a DUNS number. United States Supreme Court has a DUNS number. All of the states got one. I know Alabama has one. The cities got them. Like, they corporations, man. They corporations. Yeah. But somebody else is raising their hand, man. So I gotta go unless you had something else that you wanted to talk about.
No, that's all I need for now.
Okay.
But I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
As soon as I got some money, I'm gonna send you something. I'm broke right now, though.
Man, you good. Just send whatever you can, man. It ain't no pressure, man. Just send whatever you can, and good luck on your case, man.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Okay. We have caller 3282. Good evening. How you doing?
Peace, guys. Can you hear me?
Peace, yeah, I can hear you. What's good, man?
What's up, brother? So I got a criminal matter. I'm out of Arizona here.
Okay.
We're in pre-trial phases right now. Basically, it's a prohibited possessor, so a felon with a weapon. So obviously can't dispute any of the facts, but right now we're focusing on obviously Sixth Amendment nature and cause and effective counsel.
Okay.
So my question to you is, what would be your documentation going into court in the pretrial phases? Like, because I know some instances there's individuals who would say they would deny the matter, dispute the matter. Obviously, you got folks like Yusuf who don't dispute anything, and you can't do anything until you know certain pieces of information. So basically, what documentation would you go ready to have in there, other than obviously like affidavit of truth or something like that?
Okay. How many witnesses do they have?
I mean, I don't think they have any witnesses other than obviously like the police officers.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you were probably, traveling somewhere, you got stopped, they ran your name, or they searched you or something like that. And then after they ran,
it was like a bar fight kind of thing. It was my pops. My pops had got ran up on by a couple of people, and he had a weapon on him at that time. But somebody had ended up, yelling to the police, and the police came in, and like it was three people against him, but he had the weapon in his pocket, so he wasn't like instigating any situation. He was really defending himself, but obviously he's a prohibited possessor. So.
Okay. Are there any exceptions to being a prohibited possessor? Meaning, like, let's say you are prohibited from possessing a firearm except under these circumstances. Anything like that that you know of? I'm asking because I don't study Arizona law. but I'm just asking to see.
Right.
Huh?
I haven't necessarily seen anything like that. Being that he hasn't restored his right to carry. That's really
okay. Well, I would have to look into that. But if you're going, does he have an attorney right now? Any type of attorney?
Yeah, he has a court-appointed attorney.
Okay.
We have an attorney's instruction letter that he wasn't willing to agree to. Simple things like, obviously sort of uphold his constitutional protections, make a list of those protections upon request and things like that. But that's not a contract that any of these attorneys are willing to sign. So we're really asking for effective counsel before we move forward to anything or do anything. Because we haven't found any attorney that'll sign a contract like that.
Okay. So this was a fight. I was gonna try to see if you can argue, a motion to suppress on the exclusionary rule because he was probably unlawfully arrested or detained. But I don't really know all of the facts of the case. You could do something.
What is that exclusionary rule? You said exclusionary?
Yeah, and the exclusionary rule it's your remedy when police officers either unlawfully detain you or they unlawfully arrest you. So if they, let's say, you walking down the street, police officers say, "Hey, what's your name?" You don't want to talk to them. You just keep going, and they just grab you and they just start searching you, and let's just say they find some weed in your pocket or something like that. And they try to use that weed, against you, for possession of marijuana. They want to use that against you, but you file a motion to suppress because they unlawfully detained you because they didn't have specific articulable facts that a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed before they detain you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like probable cause.
They call it reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion relates to detentions.
Reasonable suspicion.
Yeah. Probable cause is when they arrest you. They need probable cause to arrest you and take you to jail. They need reasonable suspicion to temporarily detain you. And just by if you're refusing to talk to the police, that's not a crime. You get what I'm saying? That's not reasonable suspicion. That doesn't justify them unlawfully detaining you and trying to get your name and so on and so forth like that. So the exclusionary rule is your remedy when they do that. So if they unlawfully detain you or if they unlawfully take you to jail, you can file a motion to suppress because they violated the Fourth Amendment when they either took you to jail or when they detained you. Does that make sense?
Okay, I got another question here. What are your methods of, obviously when you're asking of the nature and cause and whatnot, and they're not looking to disclose that information, number one, other than, for the record, making it known on the record, what are your other ways of, just documenting their dishonor and whatnot?
I mean,
or is there? I mean, because I know there's only so much that we can do. At that point,
I would make sure that I have my paperwork filed and that it has been docketed. That it's been recorded into the court's docket, and I would also make sure that whatever type of so-called court I'm in, that there's a court reporter in there, so you can document this shit because they can't. As a matter of law, they're prohibited from moving forward when you ask, let me rephrase that, when you demand to know the nature of the action. They're supposed to tell you because
right.
I'm not sure if you know why they're supposed to tell you, but they are supposed to tell you. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you the reason why. Just because, other people are watching too. The reason is because all of these courts were separate courts, but they have merged all of these courts into one court. Courts of law, courts of equity,
Right.
courts of admiralty, all of these courts were separate courts. And because these courts were separate courts, they had their own rules of procedure. They had their own rules of procedure, but when they merged all of these courts into one court, they condensed all of the rules of procedure into two sets of rules.
Criminal procedure.
Yeah, criminal procedure and civil procedure. That's what they did. Now you don't know which hat you don't know which hat the judge is wearing. You don't know if it's an administrator. You don't know if it's an administrative hearing. You don't know if the judge is acting in a judicial capacity. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But I'm trying to see if I don't want to get into the all of the facts of the case, because I think that's kind of personal. And I don't want to do that over the air. You would probably have to schedule a private consultation. If you don't want to do that, you can tell me, I guess what's going on without giving any names or something like that. Does that make sense?
I mean, really what's going on is, like I said, it was, you mean in terms of the altercation itself?
Yeah, and the actual facts. Yeah, the actual facts, because the facts are gonna always determine if you've been lawfully arrested or unlawfully arrested, if you've been lawfully detained or unlawfully detained. If he's been unlawfully arrested, then he can file a motion to suppress. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if he was prohibited from possessing a gun at the time. If they unlawfully arrested him, that's irrelevant. Don't even matter, because they didn't have probable cause to arrest him prior to arresting him.
So really the only facts were that an individual had ran up the police officers that were outside of the bar and said that there was a fight and one person had a gun. And that's when they ran in, and then my pops was on the ground. He was being restrained by, other individuals. I think it was a security. But that's when they had found a firearm in his pocket. But other than that, that's really the only charge is one charge of intentionally and knowingly carrying it while being a prohibited possessor. Like those are really the elements of that charge.
Intentionally, knowingly. Yeah, I can see why those will be the elements. I'm trying to figure out. Do you have a copy of the that complaint, or like where I can read that statute? I'm trying to find you a loophole somewhere. That's what I'm trying to do, because I can't really think of any exceptions, as to justify why he would have why he has the gun on him, because I don't know what the exceptions are. But I can tell you this.
So you mean the statute itself?
Yeah, it's got to be a statute.
I can get it for you right now.
Okay.
All right. It's ARS 13-3102. Misconduct involving weapons.
Let me see.
And
okay, I see it.
B5, yeah.
B5, okay. B5, selling or transferring.
Or B4, go ahead.
B4. Okay, it says a person commits misconduct involving weapons by knowingly possessing a deadly weapon or prohibited weapon if such person is a prohibited possessor. Okay, so let me see. Knowingly. Well, Damn, I was gonna argue something, but I ain't gonna do that. Possessing a deadly weapon or prohibited weapon if such person is a prohibited possessor. I don't really see a loophole around this unless I would have to read some cases on it. I think there's an exception. I could be wrong, but I think there's an exception. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer your question. This is what I would do because they're not gonna tell you the nature of their action. You can forget about that shit. They gonna act like they don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I would say, but only do this if one you believe that you know that they got a lot of evidence against you. And it really ain't nothing you can do. But I would file a what do they call it? A conditional acceptance or something like that. I would say, no, I call it a conditional plea of guilt. I would say, what'd you say?
Go ahead.
Okay, I would say, I would conditionally plead guilty to this charge or whatever, on the following terms: that one, the court discloses that there's an actual injured party or something like that. Two, that the prosecution has what do they call this damn bond? I'm not sure what they call it in Arizona, but the prosecution has pledged his bond as collateral should the defendant gets injured. And if you want to appeal it, you can say, something like that the prosecution does not set the defendant's bond any higher than this. That shit, I would have to write this shit down. I'm just stumbling all over my words, and I don't want to confuse you. Let me see if I can find.
Yeah, I'm writing it down for you.
But do you get the idea of what I'm saying? A conditional plea of guilt.
Yeah.
It's basically saying
I'll plead guilty of
under these certain terms and conditions.
Stipulations.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it is a contract, just to let you know. A plea agreement is a contract. That's basically what you're doing. It's a contract. Like, you never, ever, ever take that shit to trial if you know they got evidence against you and you know it ain't no way out. Don't ever do that shit. Now, like I said, you can go in and you can demand the nature and all that. They're supposed to tell you. But they just, man, some of these motherfuckers, man, you might be in kangaroo court, but it's just a terrible judge. And they gonna do what the fuck they want to do if there ain't no court report in there.
Right.
Let me see. I filed, I'm trying to see if I can find the one that I filed, if it's saved on my laptop, because I did a conditional plea of guilt. And I ain't heard nothing back from them. Folks. I got what did I do? I think some of them got thrown out or something like that. I can't remember. This was probably about a year ago, or almost a year ago. I think some of them got thrown out. But you can do something like that, a conditional plea of guilt. I wish I knew all of the facts of the case. Unless those were the facts of the case that you just said. If those were the facts and the police officer just so happens to break up the fight, and as a result of her or him breaking up the fight or whatever, they see the weapon on them or something like that, then, well, just because you got a weapon on you, that don't mean that this police officer automatically knew that you were prohibited, that he was prohibited from possessing the weapon. So how did that happen? Let me ask you that. How did that happen? Where did this police officer get this fact that your dad or whoever it was prohibited from possessing a firearm?
I think they had ran his name. Right? Yeah, they ran his ID, his information on there.
Why?
And then that's when it came.
Why did he give them that, or what? He gave them his ID, or what happened? Did they place him in handcuffs or what? Huh?
Were you in handcuffs or anything like that? It was right after Dad broke it up. I'm not sure if
Okay.
he had said he was detained or anything like that, but after that, that's when he had got his ID, and then that's when it populated that he was a felon, and then where it went from there.
Oh, damn! You probably can argue because they don't. How the hell they know that an actual crime has been committed? They don't know. They not witnesses. That could have been just a regular fight, self-defense. Like you don't know all of these facts until you start asking questions, and these questions are answered, and so on and forth. I don't know, man. Let me talk to him if you don't mind. Let me talk to him.
Yeah, he's right here. Hold that for me, please. Yeah, give me this. Yeah. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, let me ask you this, man. Okay, so the witnesses or whoever you was getting into it with, or some witnesses, they ran out. They told the police that some people were in here fighting or whatever, or something like that. So I'm guessing the police came back in. They broke up the fight. They detained you. They detained somebody else. Did that happen? Something like that?
Well, they didn't pay nobody else because when the fight broke out, the security just grabbed me and they choked me out. When I woke up, the police was already there. And then when they were picking me up off the ground, and the police was like, "You got ID on you?" And me, I'm still like kind of out of it. I was like, "It's in my pocket," and the gun was in my pocket too.
Okay. All right. This is what I would say. I wouldn't say none of that shit if I were you. I would say that I was on the ground, I got choked out by the security guard, I woke up, the police were going in my pocket. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's making it seem. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? This is what they do. I'm telling you what they do. This is what they do this shit all the time, bro. Just because you say it's in my pocket, that don't mean motherfucker search my pocket. That don't mean none of that. Right. Man, look. These folks be playing games, man, bro. That don't mean search my damn pocket. Right. You say he unlawfully detained you. How the hell you choked out? When you know what I'm saying? You said you were choked out, you were passed out or something. So the police come in, you on the ground, you probably, like you said, you were unconscious. So as you waking up, I'm guessing, or the police got you up, they're asking you for ID. Why do you need my ID? The only time that they need your ID is reasonable suspicion. If they have specific articulable facts that a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed, then they have a lawful purpose to ascertain your identity. In other words, to ask you for your ID. If they ain't got if they don't have reasonable suspicion, you ain't got to get them shit. You can walk away. Tell them to leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? I would, if they don't have any video cameras in there or something like that, I would argue, I would file an affidavit, and I would say, some type of fight broke out. You were defending yourself by fighting back. Don't say you was pulling out a gun or anything. Like, don't even mention no gun. It's irrelevant. Don't even mention that shit. Security guard choked you out. You were unconscious. You woke up. When you woke up, police officers were going in your pocket looking for your ID and searching you, and so on and so on. I would have filed a motion to suppress on that shit so fast. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's what I would do. Do you know how to draft any of this paperwork that I'm telling you about? All of this shit is easy, man. Don't let it confuse you. It's not complex as you think. These people are not smarter than you. What you need to do is, again, everything is based on the facts of the case. The facts are the prerequisite elements that the judge uses to determine how she or he is going to rule in a case. So what you need to do is you need to plead those facts that I just told you about in a very detailed manner and you need to request that evidence that they have seized or whatever, even the officer's testimony, that's evidence. You need to file a motion to suppress and request to the court that whatever that officer is intending to use against you, that it be suppressed, because whoever it was, they unlawfully searched you, detained you, and arrested you. That's what the fuck they did. How the hell I'm unconscious. I wake up, you going in my damn pocket. Man, shit. They ain't gonna never try no shit like that with me, man.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna never try no shit like that with me. That's what I would do. That is what I would do. If you need me to explain that in another way, let me know. Because sometimes I do get I deviate a little bit from the topic. Just let me know.
Nah, it was pretty concise. One more question though. This next hearing, they're looking to run fingerprints and things of that nature. So I just wanted to.
Fingerprints for what? What they running your prints for?
That's a good question. That's what we're looking to find out. This is a pre-trial conference. This is the second one, but we have put in requests for new counsel, being that we couldn't find any to sign that contract. And this next hearing is a status conference, because the last hearing that we went to, they approved that request for new counsel. So they're looking to get an update on the case, see how we're looking with this new counsel, and then also gather fingerprints. That was what
they trying to. It seems like to me, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it seems like they trying to run your prints to somehow use that shit against you. That's what it seems like to me. And you have a right against self-incriminate. You don't have to get them your fingerprints. The fuck? This is what I would do. I had somebody, DHR came to their house unannounced. I'm not sure if you know who DHR is, but DHR, here we call it Department of Human Resources. And these people, they come and take your kids when when allegations are made against you that you're unfit or you're a terrible parent or you're a danger or something like that to your kid or something like that. So
like PPS.
Yeah, child protect, like that. So DHR came to their house and they called me. So this is what I did. This is a notice I typed up for them. This bitch is 1 page long. It's called Notice of Non-Voluntary Consent Except Under Duress. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I would do if I was you. I would file a notice of non-voluntary consent to fingerprinting except under duress. Make these bitches force you to do that shit, because when they do that, you can sue their ass. So basically like this, it says, notice is hereby given that blah, blah, blah does not voluntarily consent to any phone calls, home visits, or interviews of neither herself nor her offspring from the Department of Human Resources. However, due to the fact lawful refusal, such as this, of phone calls, home visits, or interviews of said agency can, although meritless, somehow be construed as inculpatory evidence against blah, 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 hereby consents to phone calls, home visits, or interviews of said agency under extreme duress, exclusively for said reasons. Moreover, the arresting officer, agent, or employee is hereby notified that blah, blah, blah intends to procreate federal, civil, and criminal actions against them forthwith upon entering of their private property without their consent. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to do that with your fingerprints. That's exactly what you need to do. You need to say, I don't consent.
That's in the form of an affidavit?
No, that's just a notice. You letting them know it's just a notice. You don't have to be an affidavit. It's just a notice of non-voluntary consent. Because your fingerprints are your property, and they're trying to take that. It seems like, in my opinion, that they're trying to get your fingerprints and use those against you. So you have a right against self-incrimination. You don't have to give them your fingerprints. You can put that in there. But see, the reason why I told them to type that notice up is because when you don't want to let these people in your house, or when you don't want to talk to them, they like to construe that shit as like you got something to hide. When you simply don't have anything to hide, you just don't want them in your shit because you don't want them in your shit.
Right. The right to privacy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I would type up that notice right there. That's what I would do. A notice of non-voluntary consent to fingerprinting except under duress. And then you would say something similar like that. If you need some help, just let me know, man. Let me know.
What's how do you have some, how can I get a hold of you? For consultation.
Consultation. Let me see. Where's my, I forgot my damn email address. Hold on, man. I'm sorry, man. Oh, boy. What's my damn email address? Okay. I'm going to type it in the chat room right now.
Oh, he's at Nate, so we'll go over Nate real quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay, cool.
That's the email address. The cash. I'm gonna give you the cash tag too. All right, that's the cash tag. It's in the chat section. That's what I would do, man, if I were you. I would handle both of those cases like that. Always use everything they do against you, against them, because that's the same exact thing that they're gonna do to you. Never ever agree to anything that they say that you did. Never, ever, 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 ever do that. Don't ever do that. That's called a stipulation. You basically agreeing that you broke the law. Basically, they're gonna allege that you broke the law. And if you agree to anything that they say, that's called a stipulation. They're gonna say, well, you agree with it. He's made these allegations against you and you agree with it. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. You don't know what the hell they was thinking. So you come up with your own reasonable conclusions based on the facts of the case. And you argue those. That's all the prosecutor does. When they stand in court and they stand in front of a jury and they trying to convince this jury that this man or woman is guilty, they sound very convincing and they make reasonable conclusions. They don't know what the fuck happened for real. They're just making conclusions based on the evidence.
Right.
That's what they're doing. Did you?
So here I got motion to suppress for the exclusionary, conditional plea of guilty, notice of non-voluntary consent.
Okay. Hold off on the motion to what is it? What I said? Voluntary. What I'm trying to think. What the hell did I just say?
Non-voluntary consent.
Not that one. It was the other one about voluntary plea of guilt, conditional plea of guilt. Hold off on that one and file your motion to suppress, and then file your notice of non-voluntary consent. And if they don't work, then you do the conditional plea of guilt.
Okay. Let's see. I also have a motion to dismiss for ineffective counsel, along with a memorandum to support that motion and an affidavit to support the memorandum.
Okay.
Because we haven't talked about any facts at all. We haven't even, we've done all of the, I can't plead, I can't move forward, I can't proceed, all of that kind of stuff. That's really the only thing that we've done up until this point. We're in the pre-trial conference phase. But they are coming up on a trial date, wanting to go to trial. They already set a trial date, but like I said, we haven't argued anything, we haven't said anything other than a request for new counsel. So that's why I was really asking about what documents I should come with prepared.
Okay.
Knowing that it's all about making a record.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I think you should, in my opinion, I would start off with like what I just said, I would start off with the motion to suppress first, and the notice of non-voluntary consent. Be as brief but detailed as possible when you explain to the court or whatever it is that you're asking. With that motion to suppress,
Should be at least.
be as
At
brief,
least.
be as brief but detailed as possible in all of your work.
Okay, yeah.
Say no more than what's necessary. What else I was gonna say? Also, make sure you file affidavits in support of your motion to suppress. Unless they have witnesses to contradict anything that you're saying, then it's probably not gonna go in your favor. Because the only way that you can refute an affidavit is with another affidavit, But police officers don't know law, man. They don't know what the hell they doing. They don't know what the hell they doing. I think you got to.
So would that be the?
Go ahead.
What? I was gonna say because he doesn't remember getting Mirandized either. So would that be the same kind of motion to suppress?
The exclusionary rule, yeah. I wonder I've heard to where they weaken the Miranda warning or something. I'm not sure. I would have to go and read a case on it, but I think it was somewhat modified, and I don't know what the modifications were to the new modifications were to the Miranda. Well, I could be wrong, to be honest with you, but just
right.
just for the sake of it, why not argue? Because like I said, I could be wrong because I haven't read it. So they're supposed to Mirandize you. Like anytime that a police officer is, they're searching you or whatever, they need to tell you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you, blah, 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 before they start searching you or anything like that. Yeah, I forgot all about that. I don't know how the hell I forgot about that, but I damn sure forgot. Yeah, I would do it on that ground. You can file a motion to suppress on those grounds too.
Is this a motion to suppress evidence or suppress what is it suppressing?
The evidence. The evidence. They can't.
The evidence that's being used to support the claim.
Any type of evidence, whether it be testimony, intangible evidence, tangible, whatever. I don't give a damn what it is. Any type of evidence. Video camera. I don't give a damn what it is. Motion to suppress every damn thing. Everything that tends to everything that tends to show that you're guilty of whatever they're saying that you did. Suppress it.
All right, brother. I'll go ahead and I'll get up with you on Gmail. His next court date is coming up here on the 13th. So we're just trying to get everything in order.
I got you.
For that.
How on a scale of 1 to 10, how good can you comprehend legalese?
Oh, I'm pretty efficient. It's my pops. I'm just trying to coach him through, the ins and outs. He's been in and out the system, but he hasn't heard of anything like this. So,
Gotcha.
When it comes to speaking for yourself, especially, without the attorney, that's really the hardest part is, just keeping your nerves calm so you can remember what they had to say up there. But I comprehend it pretty well.
Okay,
So,
that's good. That's good. It's good he got somebody to help him. Go to the let me see. Are you familiar with the Arizona Rules of Criminal Procedure?
Oh yeah, I'll be digging in and out of those all day.
Okay, you gonna need those rules. Either you're gonna need those rules, or you're gonna need Supreme Court cases to support your arguments and cite those as your authorities for arguing whatever it is that you're arguing.
Right. That's your authority. All right, but I'll let you go ahead and get on here. But yeah, like I said, I'll get up with you on the Gmail and see what we can do to set up a consultation here soon.
Okay, no problem, man. Good luck, man. Good luck.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Peace.
Peace. Let me see. SG, what's that case, SG? That case might be applicable everywhere. It relates to firearms specifically. I think there has to be some type of exception to it, SG, because when they tell you can't have a firearm, they're essentially infringing on your right of self-defense. They're it's like they're weakening your right to self-defense. That's why I said I think there has to be an exception to it. I could be wrong, but I think there's an exception to it. All right, y'all. I got about 24 minutes on the air. So if you want to call in, press 1, and I'll turn your microphone on, and we can just go from there. If you can cite that case for me, let me know, SG. Okay. I mean, you don't have to do it now. You can just do it whenever you get time. I know you said you was at work. I appreciate it, though, man. Appreciate it. Look, man, if they don't have any witnesses, then whatever you say happens, and you need to stick to the story. You need to stick to the script. Don't go up in there in that court and agree with what this police officer say. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. These people lie under oath. I've seen it. I've had them lie on me under oath. We in court. They just lying, just lying. But I didn't know what the hell was going on at the time. I'm objecting to him lying when his lies they weren't even relevant to the cause of action. I mean, to the offense that I was allegedly being charged of, whatever. I'm just objecting. I don't know what I'm going on. I'm green at this point. But now, that ain't none of that gonna ever happen. None of it, because I'm gonna draft all of my paperwork before I go to court. I'm letting them know that I'm here under duress, but I'm making a special appearance, and so on and so forth. Sometimes I don't even go to court. I just file it. I just file paperwork and I leave. I don't even go to court because you can make an appearance by paper. That's just goes to show y'all that it's bullshit in these courtrooms. All right. Good evening, caller 5853. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing decent, man. Good. Thank you for letting me get through. Was it Smart Low?
Yeah, my bad, man. Look, if you don't raise your hand, man, I'm gonna just keep talking to the other caller. I'm sorry, man. Sometimes I get a little long-winded.
Oh man, it's all great. It's all great. Hey, first of all, brother, I just want to let you know, man, what you're doing right now is what we need, and I thank you for it because, like, we got to stay connected. That's our problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? These motherfucking courts and shit, they don't have to follow the law. The judges commit more courtroom crimes than any of us do.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
you can't find nobody to sue them.
What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us really is we.
Hello?
Yeah. So my phone is echoing a little bit now.
Oh, okay. What were you saying? You went out. I'm sorry.
Oh, so I okay. Yeah. No, I was just saying, man. Some of these courtrooms be committing more courtroom crimes than we commit crimes on the street. You know what I mean? Like that's why they commit crimes on us in the courtroom because they don't have to follow the law. They don't have to agree with the law. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why you got to bring people with you when you show up in court.
Yeah.
You got to keep eyes on these judges and how they operate.
Yeah, you do. But they got the game rigged like down here. Like they won't even let you in the courtroom down here unless you are a party to a case.
Oh man.
If your name ain't on that docket, you ain't coming in.
Legal right all like them.
Man, they ain't courts, man. These are administrative agencies, man. Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Hey, when they got it like that, I say when they got it like that, man, best thing to do is take a plea deal. If you ain't got no defense, just take the plea deal.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. I agree with you when you're right, man. That's the only time I'm gonna take a plea deal.
But hey, check this out though. Okay, my phone echoing a little bit, so when you talk and I talk, it's not in sync. So I gotta give it a few seconds to make sure you can hear me.
Okay.
Okay, so back here, I'm in California, man. They suspended my driver's license, right, for a DUI. Okay, so I fell asleep in the passenger seat. I had my little cousin driving me. You know, I was driving trucks at the time.
Okay.
I had my little cousin driving me, and cause I told him, I said, hey, kid, folk, man, I want to get towed back tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get drunk. I'm trying to de-stress tonight. So can you drive for me? So I ain't got to worry about the police.
Yeah, gotcha.
And he was like, yeah, I got you. Well, I get slizzard, you know what I'm saying? Then I have a little bit too much and just pass out at the gas station while we talking to a Jeep full of freaks, you know what I'm saying? So I wake up in jail the next day. I said, what am I in jail for? They like, oh, you here for a DUI? I was like, oh, no, man, this got to be some type of prank, bad joke or something. This can't even be real. So they gave me they let me out of jail though. I had to post bail or nothing. They let me out of jail. They told me the DA probably not going to charge me. I was like, what? What kind of, okay, I'm cool with that. So they let me out like on a Sunday. And okay, so I had to, out here in California, when you get accused of a DUI, the DMV automatically suspends your driver's license, but you got 10 days to appeal that suspension. Okay. They automatically suspend it while the criminal case is pending. So now you got two suspensions. You're facing two suspension sentences. One from the civil side, from DMV side is the civil side, and then one from the criminal side. So if you get found guilty, now you got to get another suspension because you got found guilty.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, I appealed that decision while the case was pending because that's a violation of the 14th Amendment. You know, driving is not a right, but under the 14th Amendment, the state shall not deprive you of any rights or privileges. Driving is a privilege that is shared amongst other citizens. So if there's any privileges that other citizens are given, you are entitled to those same privileges. Yeah. And that's what the 14th Amendment guarantees.
They can only.
So if you check out a case,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm listening.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that they can only.
Okay, so if you check out a case, we gotta.
Oh, okay. I see. There's a delay. Okay, I see what you're talking about now. But what I was gonna say was they can only take away, your rights and privileges by due process. They have to give you due process. That's why they gave you a 10-day notice. So you can appeal your what do they call it? Whatever it was you just, I forgot what you said, but that's why they gave you that 10-day notice for you to appeal. They're giving you due process. Due process applies to them too. They have to give you due process. Hello? Must be a delay. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so you got the law on one side, and then you got the rules on the other side, right?
True. Gotcha.
Okay, so they use the rules to stop you from benefiting from the law if you don't know the rules.
Yeah. That's what they do.
Right. So the rules is some shit they make up. Some rules is some shit that they ain't got nothing to do with the law.
Man, all this shit made up. They made all this shit up, cool. They made all this shit.
Yeah, because this comes from God, man. It comes from God. It comes from God, and God still has, some say so. But it's real twisted up, and it's hard for God to find us sometimes. But you just got to keep faith in God, because that's the most important thing for all of this. If you're gonna be tapping into the law in the legal world, then you tapping into the God world. Mm-hmm. But it's easy to lose sight of that.
It is. They don't play fair, man. If they played fair, if they played by their rules that they made, it wouldn't be so bad. You know what I'm saying? But they don't play fair. They ain't gonna never tell.
No, they don't have to agree with the law. They can make rules to where they don't have to agree with the law.
Basically, and then when they start violating your rights, you can't find no attorney that will sue a judge. I don't know. I probably know one attorney down here that'll sue a judge. The rest of them won't do it.
Hey, I had a judge removed from my case before, but yeah, you can sue a judge for only two reasons. One, if the judge lacks personal jurisdiction, and issues you a court order lacking personal jurisdiction, not issue you a court order unless they have personal jurisdiction. Personal jurisdiction means that you have to they have to know that you committed a crime, or there has to be somebody accused you of committing a crime. Mm-hmm. Some type of law or statute has to be violated for them to issue you a court order. If they issue you a court, like this is big on people with CPS cases. Like they cannot issue you a court order if there's no law that's been broken, and you can attack personal jurisdiction. And so you can sue them on that note. But when, like you said, I heard you earlier, you said they're going to treat you based on what your argument is and what you want. So if you want like $70 million and you want the judge to be locked up in jail, then they're going to treat you like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you just want your child back, then they'll act like that. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? They just corrupt, man. I have very, very little patience with dealing with these people, because they terrible, man. They are terrible. Like I said, you could be 100% right in everything you say, and because you're not an attorney, they'll just act like they don't know what the hell you're talking about. Especially like if you go in and try to argue your right to travel, and if you go in and try to argue that you're not that name, or there's no actual injured party and stuff like that. You 100% right. These are all good, in my opinion, meritorious arguments. But they don't want the general public knowing that this bullshit that they got going on down here is a damn circus, and ain't none of this shit real. So they gonna try to protect it and make you look like you don't know what the hell you talking about, make you look crazy, and so on and so forth like that. That's what type of shit that they do, man.
And this is why what you're doing is important, brother, because what you're doing is you're providing other people to basically see what's going on, not with themselves, but with other people too. Sometimes you get so caught up in all your problems that you get blind to everybody else's problems. So it's important. If you want to help yourself get through your problems, you're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you're going to have to realize that you need help. And the only way somebody else is going to help you if they got problems is if you're helping them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they got problems too. They too busy caught up in their problems just like you too busy caught up in your problems.
Yeah, look,
so something got to give you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You can't be so selfish as to where only thing you worried about is your problem. Because what you doing right now is you helping us all see we all got problems, bro. My problem now on top of that, I want to let you speak for a minute. I know you was trying to say you just did something, but I have a case I want to bring to your attention.
Go ahead.
Okay, so out here in California, like I told you, they automatically suspend your driver's license on the civil side, and then they wait to suspend it again on the criminal side if you get convicted. So that is unlawful, and that is under the doctrine of preclusion. Preclusion means, and also I think which amendment is that guarantees you should not be subject to double jeopardy. But anyways, the doctrine of preclusion is supposed to make sure that you don't be charged twice. So that's a rule. and then you have the law, which is double jeopardy. So not only are they fucking up on the rule side and the law side, but it's just not people don't really know the law no more. And you know, we got over 10 million people in Los Angeles County alone. You know, just in Los Angeles County is 10 million people. And then like you got 100,000 of them people is homeless. So it's like people don't really know the law out here. They getting away with a whole lot of bullshit.
Yeah, man.
But check this case out though. It was a case they just ruled on last summer.
Okay.
It's basically the California DUI Lawyers Association versus the DMV. And this is cause number BC 553552. They sued the DMV for suspending people's driver's license while the criminal case was pending. And they won.
So what grounds did they win that lawsuit?
Yeah, they won.
What was that?
They won that lawsuit on.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They won that lawsuit based on the fact that the DMV administrative hearing officer was acting as a judge, a prosecutor, and an investigator. And there's a separation of powers statute that prevents that type of power being invested in one person.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah,
but the DMV created a statute that says that they're immune from or that statute doesn't apply to the DMV. so they sued them on a constitutional, it's a constitutional challenge that they're creating laws that violate your constitutional rights.
Yeah.
That's when you have to look into creating constitutional challenges.
The DMV is an administrative agency. I'm not sure if you know what an administrative agency is. I talk about that a lot on my channel.
Correct.
But if you're going to look at, I got a video, I got two on my channel that called "Are Administrative Agencies Unconstitutional?" or something like that. But this is what an administrative agency is. An administrative agency, they created by the legislature. And they exercise quasi-legislative, quasi-judicial, and executive authority. They exercise all three powers of government. That's what they do. And administrative agencies are part of the executive branch of government. They enforce the law. Like when you go to court, you're not in a court. That's an administrative court because they are enforcing statutes and they are following statutory procedure. You are in an administrative agency. There ain't no courts. That's not a judge. It's just all smoke and mirrors. So I get exactly what you're talking about. That's what's happening down there.
Yep. Now my problem is when I had so I'm thinking that whenever superior court,
you breaking up. I didn't hear
like they never heard it most of the time.
I didn't hear everything you said. You were breaking up. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I said, okay, from my experience, most administrative agency hearing appeals go to the superior court. And when you appeal an administrative case into the superior court, the superior court normally starts the case over as if it never was heard in the first place.
Yeah, trial de novo. That's what they call it.
But trial de novo, exactly. But out here, the DMV has an exception to where they treat the case as an appeal, so you can only use the evidence that was presented at the administrative hearing in the superior court. That's only for DMV though. These other agencies don't act like that.
Man, these folks criminals, man. These folks here, boy. See,
yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
So and then when you
let me tell you.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you what the solution is. Okay, so basically, the solution is basically just, man, you got to sit out here and just bring people into these courtrooms to watch how they ruling, and you have to make sure that they are complying with the law. So if you really want to change the world and make the world, you know what I'm saying, more justful, the first thing you have to do is hold judges accountable. And the only way you can hold judges accountable is if you know how to file a judicial complaint. And then you have to know how to submit evidence of your judicial complaint. And then on top of that, you have to know that we have to be more involved with knowing who is on the judicial committee that rules on these judicial complaints. Because the judicial complaints get dismissed because of the judicial commission that rules on the judicial complaint is stacked up with fishing buddies.
Yeah. It's the same here, man. It's the same thing here, man. But then when you get out of line in court, and when you get out of line in court, you want to run up there to the bench and grab this motherfucker off the bench and whoop his ass. You out of line. You know what I'm saying? You crazy. You know what I'm saying? They be playing these games, man. I'm telling you, bro. They be playing these motherfucking games, man.
Hey, they playing, but shit, I'm not fucking playing. This is my life they playing with.
Mm-hmm. Man.
So you know, it's a little different on my side.
Man, bro.
But yeah, some of your callers, though, man, them motherfuckers got caught. Hey, they caught and shit. The best thing they can do is ask for mercy and just like ask for a plea deal.
I don't know. I think he got a good way. He might be able to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? He might be able to get out of it. I don't know for sure, but I think he can get out of it. If he do what I told him to do, he might be able to get out of it. He might be, especially if they don't have any witnesses.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have,
you gave some strong routes to go down, but if you don't know how to talk in court, that shit they ain't gonna listen.
Yeah, you right. I mean, shit, if you do know how to talk and you ain't no attorney, shit. Man, look, man, these they tough to deal with, man. They tough, you know. But
yeah, they is. You know, but hey, brother, man, what you doing? Hey, man, please keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna support you. Hey, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, on that we need. This what we need: communication. We need to stay connected like this.
I agree, man. I want to try to go live as much as I can, but I just be getting so busy sometimes, man. 'Cause I'm a business owner. I'm trying to run a business too.
I already know they coming at you. They gonna come at you harder and harder. The harder you go, the harder they go.
Man. Yeah. I appreciate your call, man. I got about 2 minutes left on this on the air on Blog Talk. So I gotta go ahead and get off. But
okay.
I appreciate you calling, man.
God bless you, brother. I'll be in touch.
No problem. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. I got about 2 minutes left. Let me see let's see what's going on. They protecting the public treasury money. Personal jurisdiction has to do with the straw man. They presume you are acting as the straw man until you break the presumption. SG, I would kind of agree with that, and then I don't, because let's say you're dealing with somebody that they're just a state citizen. They're not
90 seconds.
Hold on, give me a second, y'all. Let me go ahead and disconnect this call. All right, that'll be it on Blog Talk Radio. That'll be it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the show for the night on Blog Talk Radio, and then I'm gonna get right back on YouTube for a little bit. I'm not gonna stay on long.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, let's get back here. But anyway, let's say you're not a U.S. citizen, and you know you're a state citizen, but you let's say you hurt a U.S. citizen, you beat him up, you shoot him, whatever, I don't know. They will assume jurisdiction over your person just by that action. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they'll try to exercise jurisdiction over you by that action. I think that would fall within the definition of a minimum contact or something like that. I could be wrong, but I think that they would try to exercise jurisdiction, or at least try to argue that they have jurisdiction. and they would probably get it. Let me go back up and see what else. I might have missed something. Let's see, Jesse. I've heard of that too. What you're talking about, Jesse? I haven't really studied it, but I have heard about it. Issues. I believe the Supreme Court case is mentioned in it. I can't paste it. Okay. Let's go personal jurisdiction. Let's see. Yeah, JR, they says they're public. They're protecting their public treasury money. Yeah, I can believe that. That's why this shit is personal when they do that. So you always need to sue them in a private capacity when they violate. Now you can't. It's almost impossible to sue a judge because of that judicial immunity shit. If you don't know what judicial immunity is, you need to go and read some cases on that. Them motherfuckers have carte blanche to do damn near whatever they want under judicial immunity. Now, judicial immunity can be nullified because the people are sovereign. The people can nullify every Supreme Court decision that they want to whenever they want to with an amendment. Or they can exercise their right of revolution when these people get out of line. You have a right to revolution. You feel like your rights are being trampled upon, and you feel like the government is acting in a tyrannical manner. Then yeah, you have a right to do that. I can pull up the cases and show you. I don't even need cases to show you that shit because you're sovereign. That's a principle of sovereignty. But anyway, man, that judicial immunity is motherfucker. But if you can't sue them, you need to go after their bonds and try to go after them in a criminal action because they're not exempt in a criminal action. I don't see how. Maybe they may try to claim some type of immunity, but I don't see. I haven't really studied it much either. Let me see. Claim the fame 11th Amendment immunity. Yeah, you ain't lying, JR. They're going to always claim that they are 11th Amendment immunity. But here's my thing. They not sovereign. Corporations are not sovereign. I don't know what these judges got going on when the state claims 11th Amendment immunity. How can you be sovereign when you're a corporation? The state means people. People. So you should be allowed to sue the state because I'm quite sure that because they have dual capacities, the people, are the state, and then there's a corporation called the state, that they should have two types of accounts, one for the people and one for the, for the corporation, so to speak. So you should be able to go after them in their corporate capacity and make them pay for your damages and your costs for litigating this case in their corporate accounts, is what I'm trying to say, if that makes sense to y'all. Because these are fucking corporations. They filing lawsuits against people. They doing business with people. When you enter these plea agreements and you enter into these appeal bonds, these are fucking contracts. JR, he said that's a set of law in New Jersey. Okay. Sure. We shouldn't ever go into their form, in my opinion, especially if your paperwork is correct, because your voice can trump the paperwork. I don't know, Jesse. Like, sometimes I go to court, sometimes I don't. I just file paperwork. Let's see, how long have I been live tonight? I think I'm about to go ahead and end the show for tonight. If y'all don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the show for tonight. Yeah, you can. You can beat them in family court. Like, you can, man, look, none of this shit, in my opinion, none of this shit is hard. What makes it extremely difficult, in my opinion, is these people do not play fair because they don't follow their own rules. And then when you try to file a lawsuit against these motherfuckers for not following their own rules, they gonna act like they don't know what the hell you talking. They gonna dismiss your case. Like it's like you petitioning the same motherfucker who violated your rights to give you your remedy for violating your rights. That shit don't even make it don't even make sense to do that shit because they just not gonna act right, man. I have a low tolerance for dealing with these people. Yeah, I have an extremely low tolerance for dealing with these people. Supreme Court is where your remedy is. Turner versus Rogers 2011. All right, y'all. I think that'll be it for tonight. Unless y'all have some more questions. I'll stay on. Like, if y'all have some more questions, I'll stay on to answer a few more questions. If not, then I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. Give me a second. I'll be right back, y'all. All right, sorry about that, y'all. I'm still cooking. I had to go and check on my food. What about moving to federal court? JL, what do you want to know about moving to federal court? JR Family Court is governed under a treaty called the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act. Okay. Yes, you are right. They are corrupt all the way up to the top, even in the man. Man, I think they like that JRs because they're hiding something. Ain't no way in it. Why are you this corrupt? What are you hiding? My rights have been violated. The law demands that I have a remedy. I am petitioning this court for my remedy. I've done everything that I was supposed to. I followed the rules. I've cited the case law in support of my arguments. I'm correct in my arguments. Give me my fucking remedy. Why won't you give me my remedy? You can't discriminate against me because I'm not an attorney. Moving criminal cases to federal court. Yeah, you can move criminal cases to federal court. I think you have 30 days to do it under the federal question doctrine. So basically what you need to do in the fact section of a notice of removal is you need to plead facts that show that the state court has violated the Constitution. You know, they violated probably a due process, Fourth Amendment, something to that effect. You need to plead facts to show that diversity of citizenship. What was that damn statute? Diversity of citizenship. I wish you would have called in earlier. I don't have any more airtime now, so that way we could have talked about it on the air, and I could have probably gave you some advice. Fed court is worse than state. I don't know because I actually won a federal lawsuit when I sued the police last year. So I can't really say, like, I can tell you that I'm surprised that I actually won. But I guess it depends on which type of judge that you get. Because, man, look, I ain't gonna lie. I thought they were gonna be corrupt. Because I know state court, oh my fucking God. That's a damn circus down. That's a real kangaroo court in state court. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, when they violate your rights, you can sue them. Let's see, Timothy said, I filed a writ of mandamus and a writ of habeas corpus against the family court common pleas court in the state Supreme Court on Friday. Okay. You might, that sounds interesting, Timothy. I wish you would have called in so we could have talked about it. That sounds very interesting. Mandamus is to ask the higher court to force the lower court to act right. Yeah, that's right. That is correct, Timothy. Let's see. Why did you file a habeas though? Why did you petition for a writ of habeas corpus? Let me see. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm gonna call you Key because I don't really know how to pronounce your name and I don't want to mispronounce it. But I think it is my contention that all law is bullshit. That's my contention. The reason I say that is because justice is discretionary. You know, they decide who gets justice and who don't get justice. That's why I say all law is bullshit, because the laws do not apply to everybody. I know they like to make people think that they do, but they don't. Because if they did, motherfuckers in that pedophile ring and from all up to the White House to Hollywood and all that, all these motherfuckers would be in jail. Man, look, if justice wasn't discretionary, these judges would not have the type of immunity that they have when they violate people's rights. I like that, JR. Seventh Amendment. Okay, order is signed by a judge for a controversy over $20, which requires trial by jury, and the signed order is Exhibit 1, trial by jury. Okay, Tim, this is in family court though. I don't know, Tim, because family court that's an administrative court. So I don't really know. It's an agency. It's an administrative agency. They're following administrative law. They're adjudicating public policy. I ain't saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. I'm saying I don't know. The only reason I kind of think you're wrong, to be honest. But I could be wrong. But I think you're wrong because it is an administrative. It's an administrative agency. But shit, so is all the courts downtown. They're administrative agencies, but they pursuant to some statute that you have a right to a trial by jury. So you may have a right in that agency pursuant to some statute to a trial by jury, for controversy over $20 or something like that. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. So don't get discouraged or don't get upset if I say you're wrong about it. I might be right. I might be wrong. I don't really know. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Y'all need to understand what property is too. Property is a very broad. It's a very broad definition. Like your organs are your property. Your hair, your skin, your semen, your urine, anything that comes from your body is your property. Your rights. Your right to be left alone. That's private property. I'm getting hungry, y'all, so I'm probably about to log off. I'm getting hungry. Order for wage garnishment, contempt of court is confinement. Okay, yeah, okay. I can see why you would probably file a petition for a writ of habeas corpus. I would need to know the rest of the facts, but I mean it's too much to type, so don't worry about it. I agree with that, JR. I definitely agree. Because they all corporations. And people, they don't know that they're dealing with corporations. They think that these people are really public servants. These are officers of corporations. That's what they are. Okay, Tim, good luck, man. Good luck to you, man. And thank you for keep fighting the good fight, man. I know it's not easy, and it's frustrating, and it's mentally exhausting at times, but keep fighting, man. Keep fighting. Jesse, no, I haven't created a house here for myself. For profits and portion. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all what I think. I could be wrong about, these family court shit, when it comes to kids, but I think these people are engaged in some form of human trafficking because this shit is a game to these people. It's a fucking game to these people. When you're like, how can somebody make allegations against you about your kid, and they show up, these people show up to your house unannounced, and you don't know that you don't know that you don't have to let them in. The average man or woman doesn't know that they don't have to let them in, but they're gonna think that, well, if I don't let them in, they're gonna probably take my baby, or I don't know what the fuck, but it's just they just too corrupt for me, man. I done lost my train of thought because I get so frustrated when dealing with these people. I think that they are engaged in human trafficking when it comes to these kids. Because ain't no motherfucking way they doing all this for free. I know they ain't doing it because they care about the kids. You'll be surprised that DHR, Child Protective Services, or whatever you will be surprised to know that an actual fucking pedophile owns the Child Protective Services or whatever, DHR or whatever. Like they would probably be a chief executive officer or of that administrative board or some shit like that. And you would never know. I'm not saying that I know for a fact that this is happening. I'm just saying that I don't doubt that it's happened or it's probably happened because they do this shit for real. I think I found in reading federal and state transportation codes that there is a difference between a department and the agency that enforces the department's policy. I don't know, SG. I've never heard of it. I think they all administrative agencies. I guess my question is, do you have the 10th Amendment right to not enter into a treaty? Hell yeah, it's a contract. I don't care if they call it a treaty. It's a damn contract. They can't force you to do shit. You sovereign. How can they force a sovereign to do what the sovereign does not want to do? They not sovereign. Okay, JR. Let's see. I think agencies and departments are sued in different types of courts because they have a different relationship to the state. I believe agencies are treated like independent contractors. Okay. Maybe, JR. I would need to do some more research on it, but I can tell y'all that all of it, everything is functioning in the nature of an administrative agency. All of the courts, because they're following statutory procedure and they're enforcing statutes. They ain't doing nothing different than the Food Stamp Office, Child Protective Services, the Department of Motor Vehicles, the SCC. They ain't no different than that, man. The only difference is they actually have a courtroom setting and they dress like judges, they talk like judges, they act like, that they are members of the judicial branch of the government, but they are not members of the judicial branch of government. That's why probably about 2 weeks ago, I posted all those case laws showing y'all the bullshit, these rulings handed down by these courts in relating to these administrative agencies. They're agencies. Are you the executor of your estate? I haven't done any paperwork on this, but if you ask me, yeah, I am. It says you can't kill 1,000 people suing you for giving legal advice unless you. What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about, Keith. I don't know. Executor. All right, y'all. Look, I'm hungry. Thank y'all for watching tonight. I hope I helped everybody who asked me a question. I really hope I did help you. I don't have all the answers to the questions, but I do the best that I can to give you some good advice. So on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and end this show tonight. I'm hungry, y'all, and I'm tired. I hope everybody enjoys their night. If you have a case pending, civil, criminal, it doesn't matter. Good luck. Do your due diligence, study. Like I said, good luck. And that will be the end of the show tonight. Peace.